Hey, hello. Um, it's a little weird for me because I've been doing these in one cut and I've been enjoying them. And then I had started over for the first time because I had taken too long rambling. And then I got through one and I wasn't really sure how I felt about it. And anyways, it turned out that I forgot to unmute my microphone. So that was useless. Anyways, hello. Um, the thought that I was exploring today, and maybe this gives me a second chance to articulate it, is I remember what the air felt like when I was a kid. And it's a way to describe remembering how things were, and it's more so not for the purpose of remembering like my own life personally, like remembering what things were like when I was a kid for me or how I was as a kid versus how I'm as an adult, but more so how the outside world from me was, if that makes sense. Like trying to focus more on the world around me rather than me myself. But I remember what the air felt like, and in a way, let me describe what the air has felt like as an adult. At least in the last few years. Now I've been on my way to it's been actually, excuse me, for over it's been over 5 years ago. I think I deleted several social medias and then I got some back. And now I still have some social medias because, sorry, I got an old balloon left from a party in the corner that keeps wanting to float on camera. And it's from my kid's party. And yeah, it's going to make its way across it. Anyways, whatever. We'll let it do its thing. Um, but so I've deleted social media. Well, first off, back in the day when I had Facebook, um, I would deactivate it, then reactivate it, and do that many times over and over again. And then I deleted it once. Somebody convinced me to get it back, and then I finally deleted it, and I'm not going back. I do have a few social medias for the purpose of I wanted to be able to market myself because I dream of, at the very least, when I talk about writing here, publishing some fiction. I want to publish some nonfiction too, but whether or not whatever writing I do dream of being an author. Um, but to get away from that, you know how, we society kind of becomes one with technology, where we kind of almost become cyborgs, where you get phantom vibrations in your pocket and you're feeling like you got to check your phone, check your notifications, do this sort of stuff. And it's something that's been going on for a while, and we've seen people trying to revert back to old tech and everything. And that's actually something that I think that's awesome. Actually, I made the decision recently that I'm going to build my own offline media library again, just to help myself get away from and my family and my kids and whatnot, get away from all the ads and everything. um but but this idea, remembering what the air feels like. See, like I have a vivid memory when it comes to certain things, and not so vivid memory when it comes to other things. Like it's like all or nothing. But when I'm thinking about, I just pick like random, like in middle school, I like maybe like sixth grade. I remember like I played a lot of basketball in the street in front of my house, and then I would I also play a decent amount of video games. And it's fair to say, some people look back and wish they could be kids again because that was freedom, and that's not you have no responsibilities, do whatever you want. Yeah, that'd be the life. Well, a topic for a different time that I kind of realized in the first take through, or second take, I don't remember which one, of tonight's video, which by the way, this is definitely going to be after midnight, but this is January 23rd's video, my 6th of 7, doing this 7 days in a row. Um, but I think there's freedom of childhood and freedom of adulthood. As a child, I always look forward to the freedom of adulthood, being able to make more decisions and everything like that, and sure, there's more responsibilities. I don't regret becoming an adult, but there are definitely things I appreciated from being a kid. Anyways, putting that aside, even like playing video games. I'm a big gamer, playing video games, but even playing sports or even watching sports for that matter. I used to watch Sports Center, and I used to enjoy paying attention to this sort of stuff. And now it just it feels like in a lot of ways that like and I mean if you want to use for lack of better terms the buzzwords or whatever, the attention economy, where everyone's trying to grab your attention and pull it away, whatever tricks they can use psychologically, whatever they can do legally, you know, excuse me, they're just gonna keep trying to take your attention so that you have to give it to them and they can sell whatever. Well, as a kid, I remember there being a lot less of that. I do remember like the ads on TV and all the annoying pop-up ads on like on the computer back in the day. But I remember when it came to hobbies, when it came to basketball, when it came to video games, to just being able to give myself as much as I wanted. Now, don't get me wrong. What I'll say about basketball real quick. My dream, I had the dream many kids share of playing college basketball on a scholarship from a young age, and I tried very hard for that before I realized I was going to be short and everything. And I never really gave that up as long as I was playing sports. As long as I was, playing basketball, and that is its own kind of separate category. So maybe for this purpose, I'll talk more about video games because video games was more of a hobby. I mean, if you asked me as a gamer back then, I think I would have said yeah, but like I would define myself as a gamer. I don't know if I would have defined myself as a gamer back then. And I realized it's something that like you can give yourself as much as you wanted to here or there if you had some nights available here or there, but then you also could freely disconnect from it. And again, pointing towards the offline media thing is a great thing to be able to do, or to be able to have. But and for me it would be like you could play with any kind of regularity or irregularity. I mean, during the peak of sports seasons and when I'm hanging with certain friends, I could go months without playing. But then, eventually I remember I enjoyed it and I go back to it. And I always had my goals. Like if I was playing a sports game, I might be like, oh, I want to rebuild a franchise to be, good, and I'll try to win like one title. Now there's like a creator that I love watching that just in the background when I'm doing other stuff. But like the amount that I think about just how much they're playing is just it's so much, and I feel like hobbies were there to serve us when we were kids, and now it's like we serve them, especially when everybody talks about turning your hobby into a side hustle and then to your full-time job, because that's what you want to do, right? And for the longest time that's what I thought I wanted to do. And don't get me wrong, I think professionally, because I'm still like undecided and like what is it that I really want to get it done. I think professionally, what I could tell you is whether it's I don't know if this is being my own boss or whatnot. I know a lot of people want that, but the number one thing I want is autonomy of how much to work and how often to work and whenever I work. Because one of the things that would allow me to do, and one of the things I want to do, not when I'm retired, this is just me going on a tangent here, but one of the things I really want to do is live life without alarm clocks. I would love to just, when I get up, to go about life, and then, when I go to sleep, I go to sleep. And obviously, sometimes you got to use alarms. You can't, escape it for, if you got an early appointment or whatever else. And I'm not saying, being disrespectful other times, but just, and then sometimes in the morning, if you don't have any, appointments or, meetings with other people, if you want to take a nap in the morning, that's something I want to be able to do. I mean, you dream of that. Well, anyways, so like, at least this has been a thought in my mind is what it would mean, especially even as a father, being able to give my time to my kids or to my wife or to whatever, being able to be there as, a friend for those I care about, and being able to just move my work around it. Don't get me wrong. I love working hard. It matters deeply to me, but that's one of the things that I want. So the idea of being able to get that through a hobby, it's like, sure, yeah, I would love to, take video making or whatever else and try to turn it into something. But it's always been like, as a kid, when it came to the hobbies, The hobbies were there to serve you, for you to use or not to use. And it feels like, as it feels like every part of life is just vying for more and more and more of you. I mean, you know, like one of the things that I won't ever, I won't do. This is just me, and I understand. Is like work email outside or work phone calls outside of working hours. No, I mean unless that's built into the job. Um, yeah, that just it's like everything's trying to. I don't know. Maybe this is what because like I'm trying to think of how to articulate this because I've used the phrase and I'll repeat it again as just remembering what the air felt like. Let me put it like this, okay? So if you're watching me on the screen, if you're still watching this video, if you're watching me on the screen, you hear my words, they're traveling through the air. You see me, the distance between your eyes and the screen right now. There, the air is busier. Whether it's tangible and what's in it or not, the air is, stuff travels through the air. Whether it's our sight or whatever our senses, like things come to our senses through the air. And I feel like I remember as a kid, I remember the air feeling more free. I guess in this case, maybe this feels like sanitary. Like it felt good. Like people, it felt a little bit more carefree. Whereas now it feels like it's very polluted. Everything's always pulling for your attention all the time. Even when screens are off or there's whatever, it's built into our mind to always be pulling at us, always be pulling at our attention. And yeah, so that's why I'm just I've been healing. The Lord's been healing me. I should say the Lord's been healing me. It's been because He's already been healing me in ways that I could never even imagine. And one of the things that I've realized, especially with gaming and some of these hobbies before, is just starting to feel more like they're just there to serve me. And last little bit I'll say about that is I think about gaming on Steam because that's PC gaming. That's like one of the most common places, and people get massive gaming libraries there that they call backlogs, and that's what I said. I had a really big backlog and made it my mission last year to play a bunch. I got a bunch done, but I realized it's only a backlog if you make it a backlog. They call it a library, so I'm gonna enjoy it like a library. It's there to serve me. Anyways, yeah, this is all over the place, but that's what I really wanted to talk about, the air, and remember what that felt like as a kid. And I think towards the end I hit on something there that I think it's something that makes sense to me is everything, to our senses, with your eye, it travels through the air. It it doesn't just jump from the screen to your eye, it has to travel through the air. Same with sound waves, we all know sound waves go through the air. And light waves, I'm sure we know that too, but the air is, I feel like when it's playing these psychological tricks on you to get your attention, it's polluted and it's just not healthy. I remember what the air felt like as a kid. Now it's starting to smell cleaner because I'm making the analogy of all the ads and whatnot, all that being pollution. You realize that there are things you can do to clear that up. So yeah, third time's a charm. This is the third time I tried, and it's 11:41, so this is definitely a little after midnight. But I'm actually really happy I articulated those thoughts. See ya.